Bet horse racing on DRF Bets. We'll match your first deposit of $200. Get free expert picks and past performances, plus weekly cash back. All from Daily Racing Form, the most trusted name in horse racing. Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look back at one of the more thrilling races on the two-day Breeders Cup program at Keeneland. It was the Breeders Cup Distaff. Todd Pletcher had the two favorites, the sensational 3-year-old Nest, the rock-solid older horse Malathaat. We break from the gate. Keep an eye on Malathaat, the number one, who's going to settle in mid-pack. Just a professional horse, Mike, as Society, no surprise, clears to the top from the far outside post.
Yeah, you knew the 8 was going. She did clear to the lead relatively easily early here. Malathaat, she's such a cool horse, and this is great stuff from Johnny V. Dan. He's just going to use his rail position to save a lot of the early ground, and then he'll eventually just get around to the clear on the backstretch to make sure she has clear running to come after the leaders. Malathaat, you know that once she does get herself into the clear, she's going to come with a run she does. This is a thrilling stretch drive, though.
Keep an eye on the horse in third, the number 2 Blue Strike, dismissed at 24-1, coming in from Southern California. This pace was very fast, especially the opening quarter mile, and Blue Stripe was close to it and is still punching along at the end. Saving ground helped. You see a lot of the horses in here going wide.
Yeah, she just sits in. She's completely covered up, packed away over behind the leaders here. This is exactly the spot you want to be in when they're racing in front of you. Notice on the far outside in the orange cap. This is just, I'd love to hear quotes from Irad Ortiz after the race about what he was possibly thinking with the ride he gave this horse. Never let this horse save any ground, never let her settle away from what was a fast pace, had her on the go throughout the running while never getting to save an inch of ground, and she's going to pay the price at the end of this race.
Kentucky Oaks winner Secret Oath made a 3-wide bid in between horses to take the lead, turning into the stretch. She's in front on her left lead. Here comes Blue Stripe, who was deftly raided off the inside by Hector Berrios, made the lead, turning into the stretch. Here's Malathaat on the outside. Clariere coming up the rail. A thrilling 3-horse finish, and Malathaat just loves the distance and gets up on the far outside.
Yeah, that really is her distance. And, being in the clear for the stretch drive, I think it made a big difference there. Clariere tried to do it up the inside in this race. And we've seen Clariere do that before and actually outfinish Malathaat at Saratoga up the rail. But this time it was Malathaat who had the very last surge of the race to get her head down.
The good news is Clariere will be back for a 2023 campaign. She had really only one bad race. It was her prior start at Saratoga where she acted up in the gate, supposedly bit her tongue. She was coming into this race off a layoff, and she ran back to form. Nest will be back. Todd Pletcher says expect to see her beginning in April and May. A Secret Oath will be back. She ran very, very well, kind of making a mid-race move into the teeth of the pace before tiring. And Society, maybe this was a little bit too much too soon. We'll see her again in 2023.
Yeah, I don't think you want to be too hard on Society for this performance. She's still very lightly raced, and she was forced along on a very solid pace here. I had no disgrace in her performance here. Secret Oath ran fine. It was nice to see her, back in the mix stand. It really looked like coming to the top of the stretch of that race, like she was going to be really tough. Ultimately got tired, but it was a little bit of a nice bounce back performance from her. Both Clariere and Nest. Again, Nest, I guess you could say because she was a favorite in here, a little bit disappointing, but she did not get a good trip in this race.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly that ground loss, I think, played a big part in this race because the top 3 finishers, all at some part in this race, were able to save valuable ground. Nest was in an impossible position, 5 wide on the backstretch, and forced to move early when Secret Oath directly to her inside made her bid from home entering the second turn. Nest really lost nothing in defeat, except kind of that big winning streak that she had at Saratoga, and of course going into her most recent start at Aqueduct. Let's take a closer look at Malathaat, who's likely to be retired after this race. Bred by Stone Street, owned by Shadwell. Pletcher and Johnny V still riding strong. Curlin, another winner this Breeders' Cup, out of the AP&D mare, the quality filly, Dreaming of Julia. Malathaat runs the record to 10 for 14, never off the board in her career, only beaten a half length in the 2021 Breeders' Cup Distaff. Taking a look at the prices, Malathaat wins it at 5-2, the second choice in the race for Todd Pletcher. Blue Stripe, who went through the auction ring after this race, sold for $4 million. Might be heading overseas to be a broodmare, was second. Clary Air was third. Pletcher, Johnny V, just like old times with Malathot in the 2022 Distaff.